What is up? Welcome back to Softcore History. I am your host for the week, Rob Fox. As always, I'm joined by Dan Regester and just Dan Regester.
That's it.
You're the only as always, but we do have a special guest this week for both our main and Patreon episodes. Alex Buscemi, Boosh is here.
What up, guys? How you doing?
What's going on, meme boy?
Not much, man. Just happy to be here.
Ready to talk some history?
Ready to talk some history, man. Sad to see Jake go, but I know he's living off the grid as an oyster farmer now, which sounds like something you've made up.
He's very much listening to this podcast right now. And you know what? We're going to do much better without you, Jake. This podcast is going to pop off. We're going to be successful. And we're going to shove it in your face.
I hope that's
every chance we get.
Hope that's the last thing you hear before a shark rips you limb from limb as you're pulling oysters out of the sand or whatever. I didn't listen to how that works.
Yeah, who could say? He did an entire episode on it.
I just imagine he's on a beach like hoeing oysters, you know what I mean? Like just with a hoe, just pulling oysters out.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
That is how it, yes, it's 100% how it works. As I mentioned briefly in the introduction, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/softcorehistory. Gets you 2 extra episodes a week for $5 a month. You get 2 extra episodes a week, and at this point, like a whole 2-year back catalog of evergreen content.
This week, we're talking about a weirdo from the 1300s that just thought he had a right to the throne in England.
He shot his shot.
He did.
Which
completely fabricated things, but find out what happened to him.
Yeah.
And then Jake, on his way out, tried to figure out who was the better Catholic between me and Rob. And people that have the Patreon subscription know the answer to that.
Yes, they do.
I'm guessing it's Jake.
Jake's the best Catholic?
I would guess Jake's a better Catholic than you, yeah.
Well, he technically knew more than us because he wrote answers to everything.
He was the game show host, so it was between me and Rob.
Yeah, it was between us two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you saying that somebody that comes from the Jewish faith is actually better Catholic because they're before us? Is that?
Oh yeah, that's right. Jake is Jewish.
If anything,
I would say Dan is. Well, even the Jew is a better Catholic than Rob.
Me and Rob were both altar boys.
Yeah, I was an altar boy, bro. I've been putting robes on since I was 8.
That was some of the best cash I ever made, like funerals and weddings.
You made some cash as like a
you get paid when you
in like 5th and 6th grade.
Like the people who do the funeral or the wedding, like if it's your wedding or your funeral. Or like someone in your family's funeral, you pay the altar boys.
How much do they pay you to keep quiet about touching you?
Quite a bit. That actually paid for my college.
Yeah, heaven.
Hell yeah.
I just got heaven.
I can make that joke, by the way, because I'm baptized Catholic. So
3 Catholics, huh? I think we need to get a different religion in here again.
We need a little bit more diversity. Yeah. I mean, even if we had Gabby on, she's also Catholic.
We just know other Catholics now, which I do prefer.
It's weird for Texas.
It's like saying, like, oh, it's weird, like, you're from Philly. It's like saying, like, oh, yeah, it's weird that my friend Olivia D'Annunzio is Catholic.
No, but when you think Texas, you don't necessarily think, Mexican Catholic. You think just jeans and guy playing guitar.
Well, that other Texans think of Catholicism as Mexican. Like,
True.
It was when I first moved here, and actually, especially when I started dating my wife, who's from here and is not Catholic, she was, like, her mom and stepdad were like, Catholic, huh? That's what all the Mexicans are here. I think they literally said to me, "What's the deal with the Pope?"
Well, they think of the Irish as the Mexicans of whites too.
We are the. Well, I feel like the Italians took that baton. We were the original Mexicans of whites. Then the Italians took that baton. The Mexicans took it from the Italians. It's exciting to see who's next.
It is. Make a guess.
Who will be next? Who's left?
Yeah, I know.
Who hasn't come to America yet?
India, maybe they'll be, but they got to be Catholic.
There's hella Indians here.
Not really, not compared to Mexicans.
Well, in Austin, especially.
I mean, they lump them in with Asians.
Yeah,
they're in the richest demographic of America.
They are.
Broad brush.
It's a teeny demographic. They're not a lot.
Rob, go to the Domain, okay?
Go to the Domain. I go to my neighborhood. My neighborhood is full of South Asian people, whether they're Pakistani or Indian or whatever.
There's got to be at least like 10% South Asians in America.
No, it's definitely not. It's like 5 max. Yeah,
5 max. Okay.
There's only 13% black people.
Yeah.
In the entire U.S.
Yeah, it's not white power.
we're at like 60, 64.
Yeah, a lot.
Where's all the white people going? I saw.
We just keep adding in white people though, because Irish didn't used to be white. Italian certainly didn't used to be white.
It's the great replacement theory.
Yeah. We're the Borg. White is just the Borg.
They're taking our genes.
Yeah, we're just fucking we're
Welcome.
just fucking a bunch of other races, and
I know.
that's why white's going away.
Yeah.
You know, it's this grand conspiracy for white men to be attracted to big booty Latinos.
I mean,
That's what they're putting in your. Yeah.
Is that a conspiracy or is that just truth?
You don't even control your own erection.
I can't.
It's
It's
the
essentially
algorithm tells you what to get hard
it's
at.
a Pavlov response at this point.
Oh, Jesus.
That's why my explore page is full of big butts. It's the algorithm is telling me to like that. It's not because I click on it.
Yeah. It's just making you. Also, by the way, we have a YouTube if you want to watch this show instead of listen to it. Or, like we always tell you, listen to the show in the car or at work or whatever. But while you're at work, leave the YouTube on for your dog.
And hopefully the algorithm just goes into our next episode.
Yeah. I mean,
Make a playlist for us.
yes. Well, we have playlists, too. You can put on one of our playlists as well and just let that run through. Leave it on for the dog. Leave us on for the dog. Whether it's video or not, but YouTube, youtube.com/softcore
boy? Who's
Yeah.
good boy? That was for the dogs.
I don't know, dude.
Oh,
Just
good
search
boy.
softcore history.
Yeah, search Softcore History
You'll
on
see our
YouTube.
dumbass faces.
It's fine. Anyway, let's get into this week's episode. So you mentioned the Catholic thing earlier about the competition, and we had a little religion talk, but this is actually a religious-heavy episode because I've been going to church again lately, though not Catholic church, so I don't really know how much it counts. I don't really count it if it
Not
looks
at
like you
all?
could play a basketball game in there.
Not at all.
Yeah. So I've been going to an event space every week that holds a Christian rock concert for an hour, and that's called church around these parts.
If there's not an emaciated Jesus Christ like
A
wailing
horrifying
on the wall,
I don't count it as a church, even if it's a Catholic church, but it's modern. Like I need to think that God is gonna pop out like the Wizard of Oz, not the man behind the curtain, the big thing that he's like pulling levers to make. Like it needs to feel like that face. It can just appear at any moment.
I also need to at all times think that one of the gargoyles or crosses above me could impale me at any moment.
yeah.
yeah, just very like the last time the knots were checked were 50 years ago.
Beautiful but crumbling architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I-
they never like re-up or do renovations because you don't want to kind of mess with the beauty of the original vision.
No. I mean, you don't even want to spackle. Let it go. Let it be what it wants to be.
They don't build it like they used to.
Dude, I swear, though, when I go into a modern Catholic church, I just want to... I'm like, what's even the point of you? What is the point of you? I need a fucking mosaic, not a rock garden. God damn it.
Dude, some of these that don't even have stained glass.
Oh, my God.
Get out of my face.
Just
with
get the
that.
fuck out of here. Again, what are you doing? I'm kidding about the church that we go to, though. Everyone there is super friendly, and the daycare for the kids is awesome. I don't want to talk shit because they're like the nicest people on earth. But
they're not, though.
God damn it, do I hate
And they're going to hell.
God damn it, do I hate a non-Gothic church, or like Byzantine or Romanesque or whatever. Just not. I can't. Yeah. Anyway,
Would you have sacked Constantinople,
no,
taken down the Byzantine Empire?
the Roman Empire, no, absolutely
In
not.
the Fourth Crusade?
Those people were horrible.
Was that their
It's weird that they sacked it. At least take it back.
Was that the Middle Ages 9/11?
Kinda. Closest thing to it.
They never forgot.
And honestly, you leave them intact, and you've less of a problem. Maybe Constantinople doesn't fall 400 years later, and then you got to deal with the Turks. But then, if they don't sack Constantinople, we never get a Dracula.
That's true. I mean, he still is there, but he doesn't buck as much as he did.
Yeah,
He
we
doesn't
don't-
save the Pope.
we don't get impaled. Yeah, did you know Dracula saved the Pope?
I have never heard this.
We have a whole episode on how Dracula saved the Pope.
Vlad the Impaler.
Dracula.
Oh, Vlad the Impaler, Dracula's.
He
based on
stopped the Ottoman Muslims.
Saving the Pope.
And why did Christians turn the guy that saved him from the Muslims into a blood-sucking monster?
I mean, that was just Bram Stoker.
Okay.
He liked
that
to
was-
put things on.
Yeah.
You
Bram
know,
Stoker was wasn't there was was
would've
Bram Stoker the first Dracula guy
Yeah.
who wrote Dracula?
He wasn't the guy he didn't invent vampires, but he wrote Dracula. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
he had a brand to keep.
A Bram to keep.
Just a brand to keep. Dude.
on Bram.
Very on Bram.
I didn't say that, but yeah, my mush mouth. I could see how you got that confused.
I thought you were making a pun about being on Bram, but
It works either way.
I just took it a step further for you.
But anyway, I'm an ungrateful piece of shit, so of course I'm going to say mean things to entertain people for money, re that church. But I will say, they had a sermon last week, and they get really into the Old Testament because non-denoms are really into the Old Testament, and the generous way to put this is they need content.
Is this you justifying how poorly you did answering the Bible questions?
No.
On the who's the better Catholic?
No. Although answering Bible questions is not really a great way to determine Catholicism.
You
It's
didn't
how
read the book?
guilty you are about things.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us
That's the
don't read the
best way.
book.
It's not a book. We're not really a...
We're a Spark Notes type religion.
Yeah. We have
Like-
our own dogma to deal with and stuff
like
like
how
that.
long-
The good mysteries, the holy mysteries.
Like how intensely after masturbation do you feel guilty? Like do you feel better after you jack off, or do you feel just an intense guilt
Check it out during.
during? Oh, and you power through anyway. That's
Yeah.
really Catholic.
Definitely
yes.
when you're
That's
sitting
really
in
Catholic.
your own pud.
Your own pud.
Yeah, your own pud just sitting on your stomach.
Oh, well, pulling your pud. I always thought pud was the dick, or is pud semen?
You know, it's choose
Pud
your
is-
own adventure.
Yeah, whatever you want it to
Whatever, yeah.
be. Wait, so when you just look down, see what I tried to do is I've been experimenting where I'll lay a strip of toilet paper on my stomach, and then the jism will just land.
You try to hit a
onto
target. Yeah.
onto the landing pad of toilet paper on my stomach. It improves cleanup.
I don't understand people that try to jerk off into a sock.
Yeah, I did it once. It scraped my dick a little bit. It wasn't very comfy.
That's how you get athlete's foot.
Yeah, that's a lot of fungus in socks.
No, that's good. That helps your feet. Gives them tea.
That's how you give yourself. You inject tea into your toes.
Yeah. Helps keep your feet strong.
Is that why you just rub semen on between your toes every night?
I've never had a foot
So-
problem. Never had a broken bone in my foot. I've broken bones everywhere. Every part of my body that semen hasn't touched, broken bones. Except my face. I've obviously had semen all over my face, and I still have broken my face before.
Well, somebody broke your face.
Yeah.
That's because it was someone else's semen. That's no good.
Oh, that's
Was it
gotta
the
be-
same
Your
night?
own semen.
Yeah, but B was before A, so to speak. You know what I mean?
He broke your face, and then
And
in
then-
celebration,
Yeah.
ejaculated
And
onto
it
your
didn't
face.
heal it. It was too late at that point.
Right. I
It was
understand.
not like Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade, pouring some what do you call it? Last Crusade. God damn it! What are I'm the worst fucking Catholic. I can't even think. Holy Grail. You pour the water out of the Holy
Jesus
Grail.
Christ, dude.
Yeah,
He'd be
I'm
ashamed.
not. I'm fucking gassed today, dude. Anyway, so they had this sermon, and the guy was like, "This is the worst king in the Bible. This guy is the biggest asshole in the Bible." He didn't use that phrasing, but this Old Testament king, douchebag, absolute piece of shit, the worst king. And I'm like, all right, you have my attention. Let's see what he did. See what this guy did. Some gnarly shit in the Bible. This guy must have been wild. The king was named King Manesseh. And again,
It's already a terrible name.
worse. Yeah, doesn't know.
Manasseh?
Manesseh, yeah.
Sounds like Manassas, Virginia.
That's what I thought. You're a Virginia native, right? Aren't you
I
from-
am. Or from Northern Virginia, though. Not Manassas.
He's
Manassas,
a Nova guy.
Isn't Manassas Northern Virginia? Is that like
Nah,
Central
it's like
Virginia?
it's probably further down.
Don't act like you know the fucking East Coast.
Manassas is.
I know
I
Civil
think
War
they-
battlefields.
Some people might consider Manassas Northern Virginia, but it's probably more Central Virginia. Northern Virginia is like its own animal.
If there's one thing I want to be able to lord over Rob, it's being a coastal elite.
But you're not.
But I am.
You're just coastal.
This is the same thing. Like, if you're on the East Coast or West Coast, you're a coastal elite. Whether
Yeah,
or not you're poor. it
I know
doesn't
that
matter.
there's like I know that that's what the upper deck of every Eagles game thinks.
Veteran Stadium.
Yeah, when they. But you're not. The upper deck of an Eagles game.
True, we couldn't afford the link because they started charging for those season licenses.
What do they call those again?
License?
Yeah.
Season ticket license.
Yeah. And that you were out.
The
after
right
that?
to buy tickets.
You were out after that.
It priced us out, yeah.
Fair enough. So Manesseh ruled the kingdom of Judah from 697 to 643 BC. So he had like a 55-year reign almost. He died about 300 years before Alexander the Great was born, and he was born less than 50 years after the city of Rome was founded, to give you some perspective on the time frame here. According to the sermon and the verses from the Bible the pastor was reading in 2 Kings and 2 Chronicles, Manesseh, according to the Bible, did all kinds of fucked up shit. But mostly, he was just a bad Jew. Just a bad Jewish person. Basically, his dad, King Hezekiah, was one of the most beloved kings in the Old Testament, and that's because he banished all the other pagan polytheistic gods of the region, made them illegal, was like, we're only worshiping Yahweh. Get the fuck out with your Baal and Moloch bullshit.
Did he leaven his bread?
Who? Manessa?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the guy was eating hoagies left and right.
Man.
Piece of shit. Putting cheese on it, too.
That's not kosher.
Salami. All kinds of fucked up shit.
In order to be kosher, you'd have to only drink Evan Williams. He's just drinking whatever whiskey comes about.
What whiskey is not kosher? What whiskey isn't kosher?
All of it.
That can't be right.
Wait, how
It's
is
like
Evan,
all of it except Evan Williams.
How is Evan Williams kosher?
Don't ask.
Did you actually, there's a lot of booze that isn't vegan.
They use pig parts?
It's like something about the barrels they're stored in, like are animal
Barrel-aged in
animal
bacon.
fat adjacent or something like that. Like it's something weird. Like it just touched an animal at some point that was in a cage. It's insane. But there is legitimately like when you see a beer and it's like we're vegan.
There's some people that their veganism is like even if their meal is vegan, if it was prepared in a kitchen where there was also meat, then it's not vegan.
Which, by the
because
way,
you're still supporting the slaughter of animals.
Like Orthodox Jews is the same way with like the whole kitchen needs to be kosher.
Mm.
You can't be like, here's your kosher meal as you're cooking bacon like 8 feet away. You're like, no, I didn't touch the bacon.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be in a different fucking building.
So vegans and kosher people are both pains in the ass.
Yes.
I hope we develop technology that just projects the pain and suffering that plants go through when you eat them.
Plants scream when they're eating.
I've heard that. I am not buying it.
It's 100% true.
I hope-
I want it to be true.
I hope
so
we get the
don't care.
technology so I can prove
Yeah,
you wrong.
I want to hear.
I want to hear grass being cut and just be like, ah!
Yeah, I want to like click a button on some vegan salad and you just hear like. I want them to know.
Yeah, that would be a wonderful realization. Because then, like, they might as well eat meat then too, because it's like everything suffers. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
If anything, most plants are probably more sentient than animals.
that is a hot take, and it sounds like
Seems
nonsense.
wrong.
Trees are around for
Seems wrong.
trees are around forever. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but they don't have brains.
That, in your opinion, dude. What do you think the roots are?
Fucking stems that suck in water,
Anchors?
and don't
Yeah.
think.
I don't know. There's probably something there.
Who knows? They do kind of talk to each other. I've heard.
They do.
I've read.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyway, Manesseh became king at the age of 12, and he was basically like, "Fuck you, Dad. I'll never be like you." He just didn't want to be like his dad, He became king in his awkward emo phase, where he was just like, "Fuck you, Dad." That's my theory, anyway.
So what era is this?
This is around the time that Rome was founded, so like late 600s to mid 600s BC.
Mm-hmm.
Carthage has been founded already. The Greek city-states are getting up and running.
Pre-Punic Wars.
Way pre-Punic Wars, about 400 years before the Punic Wars.
Okay.
Maybe, 400, 450 years. 300 years before Alexander the Great. So, but things are, everything. This is during the Assyrian Empire. The Middle East is cooking at this point. So Manesseh is like, I'm bringing them all back. Bringing back all the gods.
Pubic.
Bringing back fucking Baal, fucking Moloch. Everybody's coming. Ammon, I think. I don't even know. Oh, there's a bunch. So this, in and of itself, bad. Horrible. Especially to the people writing the Bible who are obviously very pro-God. He also might have lit his son on fire.
May have.
I think
can't
maybe.
confirm.
Would you rather light your son on fire or stab your son?
Yeah, I feel like,
Like
the
Abraham and
stabbing's
Isaac.
quicker.
So none of this really justifies why he's a bad Jew.
No, bringing back other gods to worship and then worshiping the other gods.
That was the main thing. The lighting the sun on fire thing they were cool with, though.
No, they weren't, because it was in worship of another god. It was in worship of Moloch, I think.
False idols.
Yes.
Mm.
He made.
Remember when Moses comes down from the mountain and they're worshiping?
They just built a cow. Like Moses was
golden
up there
calf.
a little too long, and they're like, "We need a new god.
Yep. He has forsaken us. He's been gone for 12 hours.
Build a fucking cow.
They start
Fucking
fucking
now."
worshiping a golden calf. and he has to smash one of the commandments.
There was 15, yeah.
Yeah, one of the fucking stones. He's just
It's like,
frustrated.
God damn it. I wasn't gone that long. But that's Moloch worship, actually, which is, so Moloch and Baal.
Is that in the Bible? Like there is a 15th commandment. We'll never know what it is.
No,
he smashed it.
He smashes the 10. He's
Wasn't
like,
that Monty Python?
That was Mel Brooks, History of the
Mel
World.
Brooks, that's it.
Yep.
These 10 commandments.
Yeah.
yeah, he drops it.
So Moloch and Baal are, I think they're Phoenician gods, which they're definitely of the area. I'm pretty sure they're Phoenician. Actually, Baal, the god Baal,
Fuck it, we ball.
well, kind of, because he is he's part of the name of one of your favorite characters in history, Hannibal. Hannibal means like something like blessing of Baal or blessed Baal or something like that. And the Carthaginians
Son of Baal.
The Carthaginians were founded by Phoenicians.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, the Romans and I think the Greeks who used to fight the Carthaginians before the Romans got to them would always be like, oh, the Carthaginians are fucked up weirdos. They light their kids on fire in worship of Moloch. So this Moloch lighting your kids on fire shit spans centuries, which could be a coincidence. It's just like, their religion's weird and they had the same religion, or maybe there's more to it. But I don't know.
Did they have a dowry system?
Probably. I don't fucking know. Who didn't? We're like the only ones that don't in history.
No, that was a poor joke. Just throwing.
What is a dowry system?
In India, right? So that if you have a baby girl, caste system, dowry system, you have to essentially pay somebody to marry your daughter.
I mean, there were dowries in America back in the day.
I know, but a lot of, like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, a lot of like Indian families would just like chuck their babies in the fires because they didn't want to they didn't want to have a daughter. They couldn't afford it.
You had to pay to get them married, and if they were like really ugly, it cost more probably.
Probably.
More like.
But if
more
she's
than
a dime, it's
If
like
she's like sick or
if she's like a
literally,
hottie, it's like you don't have to pay as much to. I'll
You still have to pay though, and so actually, an inheritor of that, a descendant of that tradition, is the girl's family paying for the wedding.
Oh wow.
So like
That's more Western.
Yeah.
We kind of make it
We
more
had to
digestible.
settle.
Yeah.
Well,
had to
we
kinda
do
settle.
now. That's not the dowry situation existed like not that long ago. Like for sure, in the post founding of the United States, there is still a dowry situation.
How do you think an arranged marriage would go for you?
For me?
Yeah. Think it would work out?
No. What do you mean? Like, could I make it work, or
Would you want to make it work?
I just feel like you don't. Personality doesn't count for much when you're trying to do a political marriage. So I would probably get fucked and just have someone terrible.
You got to marry somebody for a bridge?
To ally two families.
Get their army, their stand-in army.
I mean, I guess at that point, that's why Robb Stark died.
Yeah, but back then, like marriage, it's like you get your wife that you're required to marry for the army, but then you can like bang all the servants. It doesn't matter.
I guess you just see her and you're like, well, gonna bang a lot of whores.
You're gonna be a lot of prostitutes.
Yeah. Or she's great and you're like, oh.
You come to an agreement.
Or
Only,
it's like,
only be
oh,
a few
shit.
prostitutes.
Yeah, or you like you strike the deal. It's like, damn, I suck, but like I just got matched with the hottest chick ever. Hell yeah.
That is like a funny thing that you see. You always see that in like movies and TV and stuff. It's like the chick gets screwed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
some like normal or hot chick.
Yeah, you
And
never
then
see
some
the
like
man-
lump of a dude, and they're like, "Oh no, his arranged marriage sucks for her." That was a thing I think in Game of Thrones when Robb Stark was gonna have his arranged marriage or whatever with the Freys.
And his uncle ends up with like a pretty decent looking.
Yeah, but he was worried.
daughter,
He was
yeah.
he was like looking down the line. He was like, "Oh my fucking god, no."
I have nothing to work with. Yeah.
Yeah. People don't ever think about our end of it.
No.
That's true. A lot of people don't think about the guy's perspective.
It's sad.
Well, because most
As three men on a podcast,
It's sad. This is another attack on masculinity.
we don't have enough of a voice.
Sick of this shit.
We haven't been heard enough.
So he was he did a lot of pagan stuff. Manesseh did brought it all back. Whatever. He also, according to the people who writing the Bible, was an oppressive and murderous asshole. Killed a lot of people. This, of course, pissed off God, who proceeded to say some pretty metal shit. He said, "I will wipe Jerusalem as a man wipeth a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down," which would be sick if he actually did that.
That
Like,
doesn't sound so bad, though.
No, it doesn't sound good. Just dump. I'd be sick if he actually just picked up Jerusalem,
You're just
turned
taking
it
a
sideways,
rag?
and then just wiped it into the ocean. But he didn't.
What if
that'd
God
be
was just
tough.
lazy and he just placed a dirty dish into the dishwasher?
Yeah, he's just like Jerusalem's still there. I'm letting it soak.
It's like, oh, is this a cast iron? Yeah, put it in the dishwasher.
Yeah, it's going to soak for a while.
It all cleans the same.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fucking fine. So God did this allegedly.
A lot of people don't know that. You can put anything in the dishwasher.
It's a dishwasher.
Why would I do it manually with my own hands?
To-
Sorry, I'm embracing technology. I'm embracing the future.
Do you take your laundry and run it over a washboard before you put it in the
Fuck no.
laundry machine?
Yeah, no.
No. You crap your pants and you throw it right in.
I throw all that shit into anything that's like, bigger than a grain of rice. I'll just feed it to the fucking disposal, the garbage disposal. The kitchen sarlacc must be appeased. Especially because I'm a renter too. So like, dude, I'll take a
Not your fucking problem.
I'll take a whole cup of grease, pour it right down that thing. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
That is not.
Won't
your
even let it
problem.
run. Let it sit.
Coffee
Let it settle.
grounds just.
What can't this garbage disposal destroy? That's what we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
And it goes pretty quick, so that's the maintenance guy's problem.
Exactly.
What are we paying you for?
Yeah, what am I paying? At all, like 2x what this apartment is worth.
Yeah, dude.
It's for me to fuck up the garbage disposal.
Yeah.
Not for you to give me a lecture about how you shouldn't put an entire red potato down it.
Yeah. That's your weak ass garbage disposal's fault.
Get something better.
And by the way, the maintenance man doesn't care either.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he's just like, oh shit, you fucked this up, huh? Okay.
He's
All
most
right.
likely high.
Yeah. So God, according to the Bible, allegedly did fuck up Jerusalem. He sent the Assyrians to fuck up Jerusalem in the kingdom of Judah. Kingdom of Judah. At this point, Israel and Judah have been separated by a civil war, and Israel's already been like wiped out by the Assyrians. But God sends the Assyrians to fuck Judah up, and they absolutely, allegedly do. If you know anything about the Assyrian Empire, they are assholes. Like Babylon and Egypt are kind of the big bads of the Old Testament, and obviously Rome is the big bad of the New Testament. And Persia is a, murderous gay pride parade in 300, but they're actually pretty chill in the Bible. But Assyrians were worse than all of them. I mean, they were fucking psychos. They just scorched earth on everything, kill everyone. They're fucking lunatics.
It's weird that ISIS doesn't embrace that culture then.
I know they destroy it. Well, they're not Muslim, is why. That's the only
It doesn't
reason.
matter. They're still, it's their roots.
Spiritually, even though they don't intend to, they certainly do a lot of Assyrian things.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's kind of a dick move to just blow up Assyrian monuments and
I know.
columns and come on, dude.
You're doing all their stuff. You're doing all the Assyrians.
Maybe that's why they're just trying to like jack their swagger.
They are swagger jacking the Assyrians. I don't appreciate it.
Mm-mm.
Allegedly, the Assyrians kidnapped Manesseh, put him in chains, imprison him, and then he repents, and God accepts and is freed, and things end happily ever after. We all love God, blah, blah, blah. So I hear all this story. This is roughly the story from the Bible and what the pastor's saying. And I'm like, obviously, I got to go home and Google this guy. It's fascinating to me from a historical standpoint. And turns out, situation's a little more complicated outside of the Bible. Now, do I fault the Bible for this? I do not, because the Bible only cares about religion. So something to keep in mind, like when you're like, oh, well, the Bible doesn't take this other historical stuff into account. They don't care about politics. They don't care about geopolitics. They don't care about anything other than God in the Bible. Are you making God happy or are you not making God happy? That's all the fucking Bible cares about.
Or maybe you blame the messenger that you heard it from, the guy in the blue like checkered gingham shirt.
With pearl snaps?
Probably had a bolo tie.
Nah, wasn't that good.
He didn't dress up. That's for holidays.
Yeah, holidays only. It's bolo tie and boots.
Didn't even wear boots. Had New Balances on.
Yeah, this was a tennis shoe and jean kind of day.
Hmm.
Maybe even a T-shirt. I don't remember. But like a nice,
dress for the job you
but a
want,
nice
dude.
T-shirt. Dress for the Lord. That's what I say. Put on some robes. It's just So let's give a little background on what was actually going on outside of the God stuff. First off, God didn't send the Assyrians. The Assyrians were already fucking there. Judah was a client state of the Assyrians even before Manasseh got the throne during the reign of Hezekiah. This means politically they were Assyria's bitch. Like, Assyria was basically like, okay, we just fucked up Israel pretty hard. We can come in and fuck you up, but we'd rather that's going to cost us money too, and then we're going to have less tax revenue because we got to kill so fucking many of you. So let's just acknowledge that we can kill so fucking many of you, but we don't want to just pay. We don't want to have to pay to do it and lose maybe some troops also. So why don't we both just save ourselves a lot of trouble, and you just
Bend the knee.
bend the fucking knee? And Judah's like, yep, I agree. Sure. Actually, I don't even think this happened during the reign of Hezekiah. I think it was before that. Hezekiah just inherits that situation as well. So the Assyrians, though, are having a little bit of a downturn as an empire. Nothing horrible. I would actually say it would almost be similar to like what America is going through today, right? Like we're still hilariously the most powerful economic and military force in the world. Like it's not even fucking
You see, we
close.
just found like so much lithium underneath Pennsylvania
Yeah.
that we could support 40% of our needs.
Yes. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's fucking.
Let's start drilling,
We
baby.
just we
Drill,
just
baby,
kind of
drill.
like stumble upon resources.
I mean, we're the size of a continent. It's
We're-
not surprising. What's surprising is how little China has, or like Australia.
We also just don't use them, right? We're just kind of sitting on them. We're hoarding our resources.
Well, we're
Why not?
making more oil than ever before. Right
We
now.
are. We're drill, baby, drill right now.
We can though. We can afford to do that.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
Yet oil prices are higher than ever. It makes no sense.
Perhaps some price fixing.
Yeah, there might be some.
Remember the early days of COVID where you could literally just go get a crude barrel of oil and they would pay you?
Yeah.
They're like, thank you. My cousin had a funny joke about that because he works in the oil industry. He was basically like, went into work one day and they were like, well, a barrel of oil is down to X price. The good news is it can't drop below Y. I forgot what it was. It can't drop below like
Because of the price of the barrel.
Yeah, the barrel, the basement of the basement's whatever the barrel costs. Like it can't drop below the price of the barrel. So we're good to go.
But depending on what the barrel's made of, maybe on any given day, that price drops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Judah is a client state of Assyria. Assyria's got a bit of a downturn, and I'll just say it like this. It's like the United States right now, right? It's like, oh, is the United States collapsing? Is this the end of the United States? No, but certainly it's a little chaotic here, right? So Judah and Egypt see the chaos in Assyria, and they're like, you know what? I think we could take them.
Got a few drinks in them. Started hyping up their boys.
Yeah, start talking. Fuck them, and they're like, they got to come to us too. We're playing a home game. Fuck them, because obviously they're not going to project force. They're not going to go attack Nineveh or something. They're going to sit back and be like, "Come and get us. Fuck you. Fuck you. We're not paying. Fuck you. I'm not paying."
I'm not super familiar with the terrain of Judea.
It's kind of
There are mountains.
of Judah.
Yeah.
Like so, Judah's southern Israel. Like
right.
southern.
I
modern Israel.
have no idea the landscape about like Israel. current day
I
Israel.
think Israel's kind of like oddly diverse for how small it is. Like there's some parts that are Mediterranean and some parts that are desert.
Okay. Like I have a better understanding of Afghanistan.
What, all one fucking big mountain desert?
It's not really all desert though. There's a lot of mountains.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
all up in the fucking mountain. So they decide to heat check and rebel against the Assyrians. Judah was also doing very well at the time, so Hezekiah, like I said, decided to see who he'd get away with. He made a defensive pact with the Egyptians, who were also under the Assyrian. Assyria had conquered Egypt even, so Assyria, by the way, is fucking no joke. So Egypt and Judah get together, and they're like, fuck you. The Assyrians come in hot. This is under Hezekiah's reign. That is Manasseh's dad. They fuck Judah up. They just I forget what the fort's called. They sack their most powerful fort. They sack city after city after city. They get to Jerusalem, where Hezekiah and the other Jews, whatever, are behind the walls, and the Assyrians sit there and besiege them. They don't go in. Hezekiah surrenders. Both sides claim victory though, because they're like, oh, they didn't take Jerusalem, and the Assyrians were like, we penned them up and they gave in, and we fucked up the whole rest of their country. Assyria won, let's be fucking honest, but the Bible says Hezekiah won. It's bullshit. Anyway, the Assyrians never sacked it, but man, they fucked up the whole country. I mean, they fucked up. Like, imagine if, let's just say Texas, right? Like if someone invaded Texas and for whatever reason we were able to fortify Dallas or Houston, whatever the most economically valuable city is, but the rest of it they just ripped to shreds. And then we're like, fuck yeah. Hezekiah dies. Manasseh takes the throne. He's 12 years old. The country's in ruins except for Jerusalem. This is now a 12-year-old's fucking problem. The economy is fucked. The entire country except the capital, which to be fair is the biggest economic engine, but the whole rest of the country is just set on fucking fire. This is a 12-year-old's fucking problem now.
And he is a bad Jew on top of that.
And he's, yeah. It sounds like Hezekiah is the bad Jew economically, but Manesseh and his government do the unthinkable. They try not to piss off the Assyrians, the people who just beat the shit out of them and burn their whole country down. They think, maybe we should make them happy.
That's
solid
idea.
The gangster that came in and just like shot us in the kneecaps. We should potentially make an arrangement with them so they don't kill us.
Yeah. The unthinkable.
Coward.
Absolute piece of shit. So doing this involves several things. He makes sure to pay the Assyrians whenever they ask and even pay them more and all that stuff. Assyrian records list Manesseh among 22 kings who provided materials for the Assyrian king's building projects. He also turns around and helps the Assyrians fight the Egyptians. Offers forces to get Egypt back under control, all this stuff.
We'll be your farm system.
Yeah, I mean, you're adding not even a farm system. It's I'm trying to think of a sports analogy for it. But he adds supplemental troops to them. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not the most important stuff, but it's like Australia being like, oh, yeah, sure, mate. We'll send 1,000 guys to Afghanistan. That's no problem.
Also, these maps that say Australia never lost a war. Bullshit.
Yeah, the birds.
They lost to fucking birds.
Emus. Not even as big as ostriches. It's pathetic. Do you know that?
The Emu War?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always like a
they
fun
couldn't
fact
stop
that people gloss over, but
Yeah,
they lost a war.
Australia lost a
birds.
war to emus, yeah.
It's just because they couldn't kill them, right? Like, they just didn't have enough bullets.
They ran out.
Yeah.
They
They got swarmed.
No, the birds were actually gunning them down too.
What's even the point, like, of using guns? Just get a line of trucks and just drive fucking through them. They're not faster than a truck.
Yeah. That had to be more of a fuck it. Fuck it. Mate.
It was a resource
Let's go
thing.
have some Fosters.
It's no fun.
They're just a lazy people, for being honest.
They just didn't want it bad enough.
They truly didn't.
So they do all this in hopes of being named, I guess, a most favored nation by the Assyrians. Means you kind of get more stuff. The Assyrians give you more economic support, I guess. Give you more trade rights, that type of thing. They wanted to be essentially get more resources from the Assyrians as a client state by giving them more. Give more, get more, I guess. And that works. They become a most favored nation of the Assyrians. And he uses the resources he gets to rebuild Judah's rural economy. Because, again, the Assyrians have burned the whole fucking thing down. Just fucked up the entire countryside. However, it wasn't just resources alone. According to archaeologists and historians, he had to make deals to help rebuild the countryside as well, to get the people in the rural areas to do what Manesseh needed them to do. And so you got to make deals. It's a quid pro quo, right? Like, you can't just... Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess he could try to just walk in there, put a sword to their head and be like, fucking do this. But it's easier to get people to agree, right? It's easier to make a positive deal than a negative deal.
Was he a closer?
He was a closer. Manesseh closed.
Dude, Manesseh sounds like a pretty good king so far. Like, his dad got everything burned down, and he's doing his best to rebuild it. Yet the people saw him as a bad Jew anyway.
Well, the people writing the Bible.
People writing the Bible. Why did people writing the Bible have against this guy trying to rebuild his country?
Bias.
Because
Messaging.
in order...
You got to tear this man down for how great he was.
Haters.
Probably caught 34 counts.
Yeah, this is the second book of haters. Not the second book of Kings. Part of the deal, supposedly, based on archaeological research and stuff like that, is he was like, if you do what I ask you to do, like the ways to rebuild the economy or whatever, I will re-legalize worship of Baal, Moloch, whatever you're into. You know what I mean? Whatever you want, do it. I'll let you worship. And Yahweh, too, if you want to worship Yahweh, whatever. But I will re-legalize your other gods.
So that's why the Bible looked unfavorably on him. He's like, it doesn't matter if you rebuild the country. If you're freedom of religion, that's not going to fly.
He also allowed those gods to be worshipped in the temple in Jerusalem.
How dare he?
Which was a huge fucking no-no to the people writing the Bible. So these gods started to be worshipped everywhere, every corner of the empire, or the kingdom. That wasn't an empire. Baal and Moloch were worshipped in other parts of the Assyrian Empire, but in Judah, they were illegal, and then they became legal again. They got put back in the temple, I guess probably to maybe he got oversold. Maybe he took too much, you know what I mean? Maybe he could have kept him out of the temple, but according to the Bible, and there's no reason to not believe this part, is Manesseh also took part in worshiping these other gods. Like, he was like, yeah, check it out. See what's up. Like me going to a non-denom, even though I'm fucking Catholic. I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, I know the Pope's angry at me.
Well, he's just trying to put in face to, he's got to get them to, do farming again. So he's like, yeah, I'll show up at your church.
Yeah.
Just to, make you guys happy. Seems just like good politics, in my opinion.
I think it probably was good politics, although he might have still lit his son on fire. I'm not sure.
Had to, because he angered his own base.
Because that was, as far as I can tell. So this is why I think it might be true, because, again, this could just be normal slander at the time, but this pervades several hundred years. But the Romans and Greeks, like I said, talk shit on the Carthaginians for worshiping Moloch by saying they threw their firstborn kids into fire as a sacrifice, right? That's part of Moloch worship. And the Bible, several hundred years before that, is saying the same thing. There's no reason to believe that the Greeks or Romans, this is all pre-Christ, this is like 200 to 400 years before Christ, 500 years before Christ, are saying the same shit, which is, oh, yeah, dude, they throw kids in the fucking fire. They're fucked up down there.
Why did Manasseh throw his kid in the fire?
To worship Moloch?
Yeah.
To be like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking about it.
I'm fucking hardcore.
Everyone knows you're only supposed to act like you're going to kill your firstborn child. You're not supposed to do it.
Yeah, then God stops you at the last second. He's like,
Right.
whoa, I was just seeing.
That's
if
how you know
were
Moloch
game.
isn't real, because Moloch didn't pop out,
Well,
pops out and says, whoa, not trying to look.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh,
unless you're
proof.
Egyptian. If you're Egyptian, your firstborn's
Right.
getting got. Because you didn't put fucking lamb's blood on your door.
True.
So, one thing, so he does all that, but the Judean economy rebounds massively. This led to an explosion in the olive oil trade in Judah, brought a ton of money in. The economy rebounds. Everyone's doing pretty well. There is a big economic disparity, apparently. But so there are still, I guess, very poor people. But like I said,
But Rob, dude, poor people back then worked less hours than rich people now.
it's true. They had better than us.
They had better working conditions,
Yeah.
certainly.
Did you know
Well, I
that?
think it's just because they had the winters off because they couldn't grow anything.
It's true. Did you actually know that homeless people today, right now, have more free time than you if you have a job? Think about that. Think about how fucked up capitalism is.
Dude, that's why a lot of homeless people are homeless. They're like, I don't want to fucking go to work. I just want to fucking do drugs and live in a tent. Like, we pay hundreds of dollars to do that at music festivals. They're like, we can do this all the time.
It's just free, bro.
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
And
You
if
could
you're on
just do
enough
this.
drugs, you're at a music festival.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anything can be a music festival if you want it to be.
You just hear music in your head 24/7.
They have Bonnaroo without the stage, basically. It's just tents and drugs.
No, dude, they have the stage too. There's this forest around my apartment complex, and there's hella homeless people just living
An
in the woods
encampment.
there.
Yeah, we have
And
some.
they have a drum set out there. They have a guitar out there. Like I'll hear drum solos at like
A
midnight.
lot
I'll
of
hear-
Austin musicians are homeless.
These are just homeless people.
No,
just
man, that's
having a
just
fest.
live
They're
music capital of
partying.
the world.
Yeah.
Even the homeless encampments have a show.
That's what they mean by live music capital. Like, yeah.
Yeah. There's nowhere you can't go. Like, you're trying to go to sleep, and some guy just walks into your room and will put on a show. And you have to deal with it because you're in the live music capital of the world.
He's like, you have to tip him $5 to get him to go away. He's like, I'm gonna play Wonderwall again.
I'll fucking do it.
Fuck it, fine. Take this 5 and get out of here.
Take your fiance. Be like, we're going to a real Austin show. It's in the woods.
It's in the woods. Yes.
That is now.
Just you might step on a needle, but
It's fine.
it'll be fine. It'll be worth it.
I saw another guy the other day with a shiner as he was carrying his guitar. He must have had a bad show.
Yeah.
Oh, like a black eye?
He had a black eye
I
and he was
didn't know if
carrying
you
his
meant
guitar.
like a beer.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I was like, that
I thought
sounds
you
like a
meant a beer
normal-
too.
Well, no, he was also carrying a beer in hand, but he had
Yeah.
a shiner under his eye, and he was carrying his guitar on his back.
I want to bring back this sort of like Roadhouse situation where the band has to play behind chicken wire. Because if you don't like one of the songs they're playing, you can just hurl a beer bottle at them.
Yeah.
Not beer bottles, but let's go tomatoes.
I don't know. I like beer bottle.
Maybe a cabbage.
Obviously fruit and vegetables, but why not a beer? If you really don't like the song.
I just want to have one, like open a bar where the whole gimmick is you give people fruit and tomatoes to throw if you don't like it.
Especially with the
That would be
Austin
just a
stand-up
fun
scene.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kind of blowing up.
Open mic, but the crowd gets tomatoes.
Yeah.
Why hasn't somebody done that show at the mothership?
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
You'll never win an argument with a heckler that way. You know
What's
what I mean?
wrong, Mothership? Too woke?
Comedian owns heckler, not at my bar.
No, you're getting a tomato
Yeah.
in the fucking dick, dude.
Fucking bar. There was also a lot at stake for Mannesah. Like I said, if he needs to make these Syrians happy because they will come and fucking crush you if they think you're not doing what they need you to do. So he didn't fuck around. And this is where some complaints about him might be legit because he really did persecute the fuck out of anyone who was like, you're not holy. So all the prophets and anyone, this was at the same time as the prophet Isaiah, like the most famous prophet in the Bible. All the prophets and stuff like that who were like, fuck you, dude, Baal, are you kidding me? Or any other really devout Jew, he would just kill them. Allegedly, the streets of Jerusalem ran red with the blood of the pious or something like that. But he was just like, do you fucking know who's up there? It's the fucking Assyrians, man, and I will fucking kill you before they fucking kill me.
Damn.
At least that's what I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was a dick. I don't know.
I follow that. That tracks.
So he did straight up brutally persecute them, blah, 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 brought pagan gods back into the fold, and also might have lit his son on fire. Who knows? You drink too much wine, you're like, let me check out this Moloch shit.
So did he or did he not?
I think he did.
So he killed him?
Lit his son-
Regardless, like whether or not he lit him on fire, did he kill him?
I don't know. If he didn't light him on fire, he probably didn't kill him. He does have an heir, though. I don't know if that's his firstborn son or not. In fact, he probably didn't kill his
probably has
firstborn son.
multiple
Fuck
kids.
this. He also,
Yeah, it just sounds like Christian slander.
well, Jewish slander that Christians adopt. The same way we, for some reason, 2,000 years later, still like basically parrot propaganda about Caesar because Caesar's side won. So like Augustus needed Caesar to be legit in order to make himself legit. So we're like, yeah, Caesar was great. Caesar's great. I think Caesar might have deserved to get stabbed.
I feel like most people think Caesar deserved to be stabbed.
I think they don't. I think they think he's
What did
rad.
Caesar do? Wasn't he great? He
You
just
know?
had some bad friends.
No, he
No.
was trying to get absolute power, right?
Yes, he was
Okay.
seeking absolute power. He was seeking to be
Oh.
dictator for life because he wanted. I didn't do an episode on him.
He was
or
going
on, like
against
this one specific part of him, but
their Senate. Essentially, like, fuck y'all. I rule.
I rule. And now, granted, it's not like he overthrew some sort of American republic democracy where most people had suffrage and could vote, right? It was still ruled by rich people, and but it was more of a republic than
Yeah, but he was only stabbed 23 times, right? So
something like that.
that means not every senator stabbed him.
I mean,
Actually,
he was
let me
probably
see that.
already the 23. Probably did the job. They did, they didn't need him at that point.
Everyone needs to buy in.
Yeah.
I don't need some fucking, some senator kind of just
Half-assing it. I mean, at
Sti-
some point,
stab
Stab his
toe
dead
in.
body.
there
You're
was
in this.
300 to 500 senators. So, like, at some point, there's just a line, and you are stabbing a dead guy. It's kind of.
Don't you want to get a stab in?
I would if I mean,
You're
know.
just stabbing a dead Caesar at this
Yeah.
point.
But at one point early in his life, or like he was already big, but he wasn't dictator for life yet. At one point, he allegedly, I think this might be true. He was in front of a statue of Alexander the Great, and he wept because Alexander had done so much more than him at a younger age. This guy just wanted power. He wanted to be remembered forever.
Aren't you
Fuck
on
Caesar.
record saying Alexander owes everything to his father?
Yeah.
Well, Caesar was remembered forever, but he's synonymous with getting stabbed in the back. That's
He's
what
also
even people that
He got
don't know
stabbed in
anything
the
about.
front too.
he gets stabbed everywhere. I think
Oh yeah.
he's got to find a hole, or like a good running back, you make your hole.
They made plenty of holes.
Every hole imaginable. There's also a funny, definitely anti-Manessa propaganda that Isaiah the prophet was his grandfather. Not true. And Manessa was just such a dick that he was like, yeah, you like God? How's this for liking God? And he had him sawed in half. You like God now?
So he's a
Damn.
magician?
Yeah, he was just
Well,
a
he
bad
only did the
magician.
first part of the act.
He's like, shit, I never learned the second half.
There was
of
no
this.
prestige.
No, there was no. It was just like, ta-da, you're dead.
Well, Jesus wasn't around to invent magic
That's
yet.
not a fun trick.
It's not. Well, it's fun for Manassa, but not for.
You are right. Jesus was the first magician.
Yes,
Yeah, Jesus didn't invent magic
on
yet.
record. Yeah, that was actually another thing that the Jews, the really devout Jews of the time, really hated Manassa for. That he got really into, and this is fine. He got really into like astrology, and
That makes sense back then.
and like soothsaying. Went to fortune tellers, all kinds of shit like that.
Soothsaying, that's like manipulating people with words, right?
I don't fucking know.
I think that's like
Every culture had like a seer, or they would go get kind of advice from some freak.
Yeah,
just some eccentric old guy who's like, "Oh, I spit on this ant and it drowned." so-
Typically, it would be some guy on a mountain that had leprosy
yeah, it's just like he's wise. He's just
because he's deformed.
yeah. I wonder how they finagled that.
you just put an old hermit on a mountain and then tell someone like, yeah, he knows what's up. Look what a freak he is. Look at that guy. Good Lord.
He must be wise and smart because he hasn't offed himself yet.
Yeah. What else does he have? It has to be that. Like, I don't know. There's like 40 ugly, weird guys in the alley, and we don't listen to them at all.
Yeah,
You're
but they
told
don't.
me
They
to
don't
never
have.
listen to
They
them.
don't have trinkets, man.
Yeah, they don't live on the mountain.
This guy lives on a mountain. He's got a bunch of weird trinkets and shit that smells funny when you burn it. They probably just had like weed or something. They get people high. Like on the mountain, he's got like a weed plant, and he'd get the king high.
They definitely
Or
had
you'd be
hashish.
Oh yeah,
You're just so gassed from climbing the mountain that you're just like a little lightheaded, and the guy's like, you see the guy just says something, and you're like, oh my god.
Obviously, this is like 1,000 years later, but I mean, that's how the Order of Assassins started. They just got a bunch of young kids high on hashish. That's what assassin means, is hashish. Men on hashish.
Really?
Yeah.
Stoned dudes. So stoner bros.
Just
is
stone killers.
assassin.
Stone cold killers.
Stone cold killers. Stoned cold killers.
Fucking
But that was kind of the appeal, is that you would have the greatest night of your life during recruitment night.
sign.
You get super high. You'd bring in a bunch of women. You'd fuck them. It was supposed to be like this vision of paradise, right? And then he's like, well, that awaits you if you are in my order.
So you just kill a bunch of dudes for me.
Pretty much.
That's
Now, there's
good way to do
another
it.
theory on Manassa. This is the last part. That he was actually the pious conservative, and he was defending the faith of the region from his dad, who was a Yahweh only, like, fringe guy, who was like, you know what? Fucking God, Yahweh only. Fuck everyone
That
else.
seems like a hard liner. That doesn't seem fringe.
Well, not fringe, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, well, fringe in that fringe would be making everything else illegal. Like, that's a fringe idea.
It's Yahweh or the highway.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, after reading all that, I appreciated the added context of, like, he might have had some reasons. Might have had some reasons for letting people do other stuff in his little kingdom.
Seems like he just didn't want to die.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good reason.
People get real pragmatic with a gun to their head.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Assyrians essentially had them by the balls. What do you want them to do?
And his dad, the one that the Bible loves, was like, I'm gonna rebel against this psychotic empire because we've had a good couple years, and I don't know, they seem like they're down.
Bit of a heat check.
Yeah, it was a absolute heat check, and the Assyrians swatted that shit into the 5th row.
They weren't even in the same league.
No.
No.
And then his dad died, and this 12-year-old's like, all right, well, every farm in the whole fucking country's been destroyed.
Yeah, like, how are you going to shit on a 12-year-old for being afraid?
Well, to be fair, he ruled his whole life. He ruled for like 55 years, but he got it when he was 12. Yeah.
Did he get more aggressive later?
I don't know when he started doing this.
Or was he always bitch made?
Maybe he was always bitch made. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I got for today on the alleged worst king of the Bible. I don't know. I think his dad might have a claim to that.
He was
as
just
well.
dealt a shit hand, dude.
Yeah, dealt a shitty hand. Had to do what he had to do.
I don't know. Solomon wanted to cut a baby in half.
That's smart. He's playing 4D chess.
I think he just actually wanted to cut a baby in half to see what would happen.
Well, one of the chicks was down, so he could have gone either way. He needed a full 2-0 vote.
The chick that was down, though, probably should have gotten the baby.
The one who did want it cut in half?
Yeah, because she was willing to share the baby.
That's true. Sharing means, yeah. That's what I do with my kids. If they don't share, if one wants to share, the other doesn't, the other one gets the whole fruit bar, and then I cut the other one in half. It's the child.
Not the bar.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though.
That was a nice misdirection right there.
What'd you guys learn today?
Really not much. Dude, I knew all this. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, as a good Catholic.
Right.
That if you burn your firstborn son alive, that you won't be remembered favorably.
Apparently.
No, I learned today that I might be worshiping Baal soon. I might just go old school.
Go Hannibal.
No, just Baal, dude.
Baal
Hannibal's
is
a little
life.
overrated.
Should we call you Hannibal?
No, because he's a little overrated
Okay.
at this point.
I agree.
Just after like further review, he never really won a war, so can you really be a goat?
Yeah.
He ain't got no rings.
Yeah. He's a bit like Ryan Day at this point.
Sure.
Why not?
I think he's a little bit higher than Ryan Day, but
Fair.
What happened with this king? Like, did he save the
reigned
country?
Well, so allegedly...
Hannibal's like the Charles Barkley of generals.
That's fair. Allegedly, he was taken to Assyria or to Babylon by the Assyrians because they were like, hey, we think you're fucking around. And they put him in chains, and he repented to God. They're like, oh, please save me, God, and God saved him or whatever. There's no record of that. That's probably made up by the writers of the Bible. So what happened to him is he ruled and died, and his son took over. His son Amon. Amon also not well liked by the writers of the Bible, but Amon's son Josiah, very well liked by the writers of the Bible because he re-outlawed non-Yahweh worship in Judah.
Cool. And did Judah ever like regain its lands that were destroyed, or?
They were a client state the whole time of the Assyrians.
Okay.
So they were technically, like a client state. It's like the mafia taking protection money from a business, right? They're not running the business.
Yeah.
Right. They just come to collect. And that's how Judah was. Like they weren't necessarily doing administrative work on Judah, but they were just like pay.
Yeah.
I mean, we can come in and take everything if you want, but it's easier for both of us if you just pay up.
There we go.
And then eventually Judah falls to the Babylonians ultimately.
So it was kind of like paying taxes, except they didn't do any infrastructure help or anything. It was just like, just pay to not get fucked.
They did a little bit. Like I said, if maybe not like I'm speaking totally out of turn here because I really don't know. But they certainly, like I said, if you became a favored nation, if you were like a client state that they really liked, they would hook you up.
Okay.
But I don't know that they would necessarily do that for everyone.
Okay.
But it is in their interest to make the client states like them by doing things like providing infrastructure, for example, because A, it's easier to rule someone who's willing to be ruled, and B, there's certain things that they get. Obviously, it's easier to collect tax money, cheaper to collect tax money because you don't have to put your thumb on them.
You just want to easily integrate them, kind of like the Persians did.
Right. And another reason, too, is if you got to go fight somebody else, they're more likely to give you troops
with you.
Right. If so there's an incentive for the Assyrians to be good, decent stewards. It's more so
because you still have to rule them at the end of the day.
Right. You still got to collect your money, and it gets expensive to collect that money if you got to keep sending troops in and shit like that.
Yeah.
Who's today's Hitler?
A lot of people would say the Assyrians. I would not say that, though. I'd say probably his father. His father that was like, oh, let's fuck around.
He tried to take over everyone.
Well, he didn't try to take. He just basically tried to get Judah's independence, but he did it a little too foolheartedly. You know what I mean? Kind of just went in, got in over his head.
That's very Hitler-esque. Like that's kind of that's what Hitler did.
It'd be like if Sam Adams led the colonial army.
Yeah. Just everyth's.
Don't give him the power.
Yeah, everything's a bayonet charge with that guy. You know what I mean? It's
just head first.
Yeah, can't be doing that shit. Well, that is all I got for today. Real quick, I wanted to say something. We normally don't do this, but one of our listeners, Hayden Faust, his brother recently died tragically. They have a GoFundMe. The guy is a kid. Titus Faust is his other brother. Hyatt is the guy who died. His brother who tragically passed away. I'm going to link the GoFundMe in the episode description. Obviously, Hayden and the whole family is really broken up about it. Really tragic thing. So the GoFundMe will be in the description if you can help. It's for his brother's daughter's college fund. They got $1,500 of the $5,000 raised so far. If you can help out with that at all, that'd be great. If not, totally understand. But I thought he's just was super broken up about it. We were DMing about it, and I wanted to help him out any way I could.
Try to help anybody in the softie community.
Pretty much, exactly. That Hayden's a good dude. He actually works for UAB's athletic department. He's like
Go Blazers.
Yeah. But yeah, if you can help out with that, I will link that GoFundMe. Also, again, patreon.com/softcorehistory for 2 extra episodes a week.
Plus, you get access to the Discord where you can join the community of listeners.
Yes. Goddamn right you can. YouTube, Softcore History. Check it all out.
I also want to shout out Matthew Correa.
Oh, yeah.
Bought us some really dope office chairs for our normal day job.
Yeah.
So we'll be behind the producer desk for DB in these 4-figure
gaming chairs,
which are dope.
With a little Lamborghini.
I got some Lamborghini kind of like
seat cushion.
It's not a seat cushion. It is lumbar support.
Sweet.
Lumbar support. Yeah. Dude, the gamer chairs are the best, man. Like they've surpassed regular office chairs as far as comfortability and lumbar support go.
So I don't want to say he's like currently our favorite listener,
but
he did buy us stuff.
He did.
So I mean, if you want to kind of move up the ranks,
we're just saying, money buys all of our affection. We are for sale.
Patreon.com/softcorehistory.
Yeah.
Again, $5 a month. Or if you want to be a baller, maybe a shot caller. We got a $100 tier for no reason.
We absolutely do. That's all I got for Dan Regester. Boosh, thanks so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
We got a Patreon episode coming out Thursday on, what was it again? One of your weirdos?
Patreon comes out Wednesday.
Wednesday
And Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't it used to be Thursday?
Nope. It's always
used to
Wednesday.
be Thursday, but we moved it to Wednesday.
You're just totally out of pocket there.
Yeah. Either way.
I edit everything, so I would know.
Patreon.com/softcorehistory. Check it out. Boosh, thanks for joining us.
Thanks
for
for having me,
Regester
man.
and Alex Buscemi, I'm Rob Fox.
You just got soft served. RP Jake.